Hi ho everybody and welcome back to Kingdom Compass the TV, the show where we talk about shows all across the streaming services. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Tennell, Griffy D-Pad, and with me as always is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing?
It took long enough, but he has arrived. Blackjack is here, and Griffin is happy.
The best character in Percy Jackson is finally here, folks. I'm so happy. I realized, I was getting ready to sit down to the episode and, running through in my brain of, how this story ends.
Yeah.
And had the realization of, oh, we're going to see Blackjack this week.
I mean, do you not watch the preview of the next week?
No, I refuse to watch the previews.
Oh, see, I watch them every week because I just really like the end credit animation, and then it just goes to the preview. I'm like, oh, I guess we'll see Blackjack next week.
I'll watch the end credit animation, and then the minute it goes to the logo, I'm like, off, I don't want to see.
You've read the books. You know where we're going.
I know, but I don't want to see anything going into it. I am so weird about that.
I get it. No, I get it.
But no, it was I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, the cover of Titan's Curse is Blackjack.
You're correct.
Surely we'll get him. And then sure enough, he's in this episode. What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Kingdom Compass TV, where we talk about shows episode by episode. Right now, we are talking today about Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Season 2, Episode 7, I Go Down with the Ship. Clearly we like this show if we're jumping right into it, but housekeeping first.
Okay. The reason I jumped right into it, aside before we get into the housekeeping, you set me up by saying your favorite character in the series was introduced in this episode. I could think back, what new
character
here?
Was introduced here?
And I friggin' called it.
Yeah,
because it was the only real character introduced here. But still,
we got
nailed
hints
it
at another character that is also one of my favorites.
We did, and I have a feeling I know who that is as well.
Because it's Paul.
Yeah, it's Paul.
It's Paul Blowfist, folks. Which I can say
because
if you know, you know, and if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Rigmarole. Let's do it.
Yeah, housekeeping. First off, hey everybody, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy us on YouTube, we'll also have a podcast version where I promise I've finally uploaded the episodes. If you're listening to us on podcast versions, thank you for bearing with us. I'm terrible about remembering to pull the audio files and upload them. Also, we have a YouTube version where I actually remember to upload shit, and you can also see us in wonderful video form. Where you can
most of the time you remember to upload shit.
Most of the time. Maybe not so a couple episodes ago. But you can also see our faces, our wonderful video, and graphics packages. Come check those out. And hit the subscribe button over there to know when we are posting things up. They're awesome. Great. Wonderful. Other piece of housekeeping. Hey, shit's on fire right now in the world. As always, yeah, fuck ICE, fuck Trump, fuck all of this shit. As we're gonna just keep rolling. New episode of the regular show coming soon. Hopefully this Tuesday, if we remember to sit down and film it. Shit's crazy.
We are remembering. It's whether or not I get home from work tomorrow and have the energy to sit at a computer.
You know what? That's very fair. I get the day off, so I'm chilling.
Fancy.
Yeah, fancy. I get holidays, and you also get weird holidays because we're in two different countries, and it's timing is a bitch.
We make it work.
No, we'll figure it out. We'll get that episode out soon, and hopefully
we got a week until Wonder Man, and we get to talk about all of that all at once.
Yeah, there's a couple other shows we're gonna do that for. I have plans. I'm gonna finally make you, Mitch, watch something I've been trying to make you watch for 2 years now.
Is it the Owl House?
The Owl House.
God damn it! I just told you my whole plan of what I was planning to do this year. You're gonna throw that all to a loop, but that's fine. It is what it is.
I got a plan. We're good. Don't worry.
I'll watch an episode right after this. How about that?
Okay, we'll talk after. Yeah, we're talking today though about episode 7. I'm gonna kick this one off. I think this might just be the best episode of the series so far.
Oh, there's this trope where the penultimate episode of a show or a season or whatever it may be, the penultimate act, tends to land in a much more meaningful way than the finale. And I worry that this show will continue with that trope.
Oh, it absolutely is going to. Well, with one exception of a thing I know that has to happen next week. But
yeah.
No, I think this has been this episode was so good, and having every single character had their moment, right? Like
Oh yeah,
Percy and Clarice. Oh yeah, also folks, full spoilers for this episode and all previous episodes.
yeah. You know how the TV stuff goes. We sometimes do the plot and mostly just gush about how much we enjoy a show.
Like I loved Percy and Clarice in this episode, of them setting off to do specific things, and then them pivoting to go do the opposite things. Perfect. They both get their awesome moments. Percy fighting Luke, Clarice fighting the other ex campers, Annabeth getting her shit together with Percy, Tyson and Grover having one of the funniest moments to me in this entire show, with Sally. Like all of it
Yeah,
coming together so well. I love whenever any character tries to lie to Sally Jackson because it's just never
yeah.
going to
Sally
happen.
just being Sally, which is great.
Like I think this episode was so perfectly encapsulating of what I love about Percy Jackson. We got to the philosophy bits. We got into the who is actually evil here bits. We got more of Kronos. We got potential ramifications with Thalia, Annabeth, and Luke trying to convince each other to join their sides. So much happened in this, what, 40 something minute episode?
40-ish. I got it here somewhere.
Like, it's just so much.
34 minutes.
4 minutes. Damn. I also want to shout out, Mitch, I'm going to shout out Something Canada.
Yeah, you are.
There's a point in this where they dock the ship, and I recognize the port immediately.
I was gonna say it's very clearly Vancouver.
So it is a little town just south of Vancouver called Steveston. Wonderful, adorable little fishing town, but really known for it being in a lot of shows. They use it for filming in a lot of shows. The big show they did there was Once Upon a Time.
The Flash. No.
They shot a little bit of the Flash there too, because the Flash shot in like literally every part of Vancouver.
All of those DC CW shows did. I think the Flash, Arrow. I don't know if Supergirl did.
Supergirl was LA.
Yeah, and I think Superman and Lois was also not.
I don't know where that one.
I'm curious. You continue talking about how much you love Kane.
Immediately, I recognize the port sign in Steveston because I've gotten to actually go and visit and spend time there. Weird fun fact for you. That was the place that I bought my first ever vinyl record.
Of course it is.
I don't know why.
Superman and Lois did film in Vancouver. That's neat. Sorry.
I don't know why it was there. It just happened to be, and now I've been buying records whenever I visit places ever since. By the way, vinyl records, pain in the ass to bring on a plane.
Oh yeah, I have never once tried because I know it's a pain in the ass, and I have a decent record collection.
For some reason, I keep doing this. I've gotten used to.
For other reasons, you should probably stop.
Weird asides. Let's actually jump into the bits and pieces of this episode. I mentioned it at the top though, but I love this storyline between Percy and Clarice for this.
Yeah, and like I've said this the entire season, I think the way they've written Clarice in this show has been really, really good. And I know some of the things here deviate slightly from what happened in the book. I mean, rather than Clarice flying home commercial, she's flying home via blackjack. But at the same time, I think they're using TV tropes in ways that TV tropes should be used rather than literary tropes of just write character off screen. Which
I think one of the
kind of works.
I had seen someone on TikTok actually talk about this, but I think one of the great strong suits of the writing of the show is that the book is entirely from Percy's point of view. This is not.
The series, like the first 5 books are all really just Percy's perspective, right?
And then even into the other books, it's still from different characters' perspectives. What I really like about this show, and because it is a show, is you can't really do that. So it is seeing it like that. It is seeing a much more feminist take on a lot of these characters. But that's because we're not seeing it from the view of an adolescent teenage boy.
Well, there's that, and then we're also getting the moments of these characters without Percy. We're getting Annabeth and Luke's connection. We're getting Grover and Tyson's shenanigans. Like there's a lot of these small character moments that don't exist if you follow the book beat for beat, which as a viewer and a previous reader of these books, I appreciate the slight changes and the nuance that's introduced here and the use of the medium to suit the plot as opposed to the plot of or the typical way of novelization of, main character is the only perspective you get.
Yeah, I think it really helps this one because, like, again, I love Clarice in this series,
Yeah.
in this season.
She's one of the best characters this
Yeah, like
season.
again, last season in books, she's just such a bully. In this one, she's so much more of a character. But I love that we got this moment with her of her picking Annabeth. It's like, no, I'm gonna go save Annabeth over the fleece. Like that is such a
Yeah.
huge character moment for this character. And then that moment of Percy handing off the fleece to her and trusting her and them having that conversation, I was like, no, you guys are fully in sync, working together. It's like, yes, you guys will still disagree and you'll still bicker because you are still who you are, but you know to put that stuff aside to actually go and do the task. I love seeing that come together in this way, and I genuinely think it's perfect.
I mean, it's not without its flaws. I mean, it is a young adult action adventure show, and that does come with its own drawbacks in terms of
I
the
should
maturity
say
of a lot of what's
the
being done
character
here.
dynamic, I think, is perfect.
Yes. Yeah, I will agree with you on that point. I do think like there's still this isn't award-winning cinema. It is popcorn cinema, and I think we're enjoying it for what we both know that it is. But it's not going to set the world on fire. I think it's great for teens, kids, or even millennials that grew up on this source material. But I think yeah, it's been a great time so far. But I think back to the point I've made a few times now, and I think I made this point when we talked about season one as well. Of there's a lot to dissect in this season, but it doesn't feel like week to week there's as much for us to talk about. Like there are some of these small character moments or some of these plot points that do further the overall like the general plot of the season or the overall overarching plot of the first series. So the first 5 books in the Percy Jackson universe. Um, but it does feel like something we probably could have just done a single episode on, and I would have been very happy with that. But I know you, as a super fan, have been
See,
very, very much enjoying the week to week aspect of getting the episodes and getting to
what I
chat
like
about
about
them
us
here.
doing week to week on this is that we get to highlight and chat about the little character moments, and because I think this is a show where we could be doing this at the end of the season and just talk about the whole season, and we wouldn't talk about those moments, which I think are incredibly important to this show and the reason why I love this show. Um, One of those little moments I think here is with Luke and Luke's crew not fully trusting him, and we get that there.
Yeah.
It's a such a little simple line of "she lied to me," and I think that that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Luke for him to go full evil. Um,
Well, I think as well, just understanding that Kronos has his machinations outside of just trying to um, subvert Luke, which I thought was an interesting here of sending a few of the demigods after Annabeth, and that whole scene with Clarice going and backing Annabeth up, and just like what was it, 3-on-1, 4-on-1, whatever it was. I like my odds, and that was all
oh yeah,
dope as hell. But just understanding like Kronos is a means to an end. It doesn't really care how it gets there as long as Kronos seemingly gets their way, which is going to be interesting to see how that evolves with or intertwines with Luke's story and Percy's story, and the prophecy towards the end of this series.
yeah. I wonder if they will give us the full final prophecy by the end of this season. Um, I could very much see them with them going. That's how we're ending the finale.
See, I know how they're going to end the finale already. I have a strong, very strong feeling. I don't think we're going to get the full prophecy this year. I think the full prophecy is going to be that breadcrumb that leads us into what next season is going to be. But
See,
we'll have to wait and see. Well, we don't have to wait very long. I mean, the finale is coming out
my
this
thing
week.
is like I think that again with how this stuff works, with us knowing already where this goes, um, I
Yeah.
think that prophecy is the last thing because that next season is no. This is like our biggest concern. Um,
It becomes the primary plot after book or after
it
book
is
2.
the plot of
Yeah.
book 3. Um,
Yeah.
but bringing us into some of that, right? Like I love Percy in this one. Of he starts hearing it. Nah, I don't want to hear this shit. Like Percy is incredibly simple. He knows what he wants. He knows who he fights for, and it will always be one of my favorite bits. Of nah, fuck you, Kronos. I get these guys.
I do hope that as we get into future seasons that some of that does start to break down. We start to see some of the cracks. Because I mean, to date, with the way that Percy has handled this prophecy and Kronos and all this stuff, it has been a little one dimensional. And I know there's layers baked into the books, and I'm sure that they're looking to realize that
I
in
mean,
the
I
show
think
as
those
well. So I'm
layers.
looking forward to
I think
seeing
those
more of
layers
that.
really start to come together during Titan's Curse. With the season 3.
That would make the most
Just
sense.
with how that story goes. Um, I think one of the big question marks, like, right, going into this finale. Obviously, we were like, okay, so we'll have the Felice and Talia. We have this. We have the war coming, right? Like,
Yeah.
Luke and Kronos' forces are going to attack Camp Half Blood. But there's one.
They already have been attacking, and now
Yeah.
Luke and the demigods are just
But
going to
there's
be there, right?
one big surprise from me from this episode that I feel like they're going to pay off next episode, and that is the fact that Percy drops Annabeth's hat. That is,
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't pick that up in this episode, but I hope it isn't
mark my
something that's
words, there's
just
going to be a moment in this finale where you don't expect something. Luke is just going to fucking appear because he has the hat, and it's going to be
I
terrifying.
mean,
Like,
yeah, I mean, speaking of terrifying, like he just straight up stabs Percy.
so good. I love that they did that.
We totally just skipped over, just nonchalant, didn't not a care in the world. No, not having it. But it also just feels like it's lending itself more to the
Well, so
machinations
not
of the
only did he
plot.
stab him, but also that
Of
was a cheap shot. Like,
it
and like,
was,
but
yeah.
yeah, it shows the power of the fleece. I think it is does a really good job of us like actually physically seeing the power of the fleece. Um, but I do think it does.
Exactly. I think Percy understanding the raw power of the fleece is more important to furthering this
But I think
plot
it's
than
also a
anything
good
else.
reminder, right? Like, for as powerful as he is, Percy is still incredibly inexperienced. So he wasn't seeing that coming. He will next
Hmm.
time, but he wasn't seeing that coming. And I think that does a good job to show Luke's trickery, for lack of a better word. Um, Luke's willing, yeah, cunningness,
Cunningness, yeah,
his willingness to do
underhandedness,
whatever
yeah.
it takes to win. And I think we're finally starting to see that bit of Luke. Um, I think with the way this season has gone and the way I know things happen going forward, I think Luke is finally going to shed the hope for Camp Half Blood by the end of the season and actually go full evil. Um,
And I mean that would track as well with the character's development through the book. So I wouldn't be surprised by that here, as long as they do maintain. Again, I honestly don't think Luke ever goes full evil. I think there's always going to be these cracks, and I think it'll be interesting seeing he more solidly on the side of Kronos and those like not having those cracks be as evident, and we're going to see Percy's path go towards one where those cracks do start to become a little more evident, and the dichotomy between those two characters is what drives the plot of these 5 books,
oh
for
yeah.
me at least.
So
So it'll be interesting to
when I say full
see
evil,
their hero and anti-hero journey kind of like
when I say full
mirror
evil,
each
there's a
other in a
point
way.
in the books where, and I think you know what I am referring to.
I I
Um,
know exactly what you're talking about.
and
Yeah.
the reason it happens that way is because ultimately Luke cannot give a shit about the gods. Luke can not care about Camp Half Blood at all. But he still comes down to his flaw is that he cares about Annabeth. And
Mhm.
to his credit, he does in some level care about Percy too. Like he does still have those connections that will ultimately always stop him from killing and fully taking out Kronos' enemies. And so we'll get that moment later on with what happens with that. And I think that is going to be one of the best parts.
Whether or not that happens in this season or we'll get that in
I don't
future
think we'll get that
seasons
in
is
season
yet to be
four.
seen.
If we get season 4. Um,
I was going to say, I'm trying to remember the plot of the books. It's been a while since I read it. Maybe it's time for a reread.
Um, Regardless, I'm super excited for next week. I love going into a finale with excitement. I'm ready to be disappointed, but
1,000%. Especially if we don't get. I mean, we have confirmation of a season 3. Whether or not we get past that or even get to that season 3,
well, I
people
said
got to watch this show. So if you made it this far, I know you've already seen it. Tell all your friends, family that this is something they should be
y'all
watching.
give this thing the views it needs, and bug Reardon about this whenever you have the opportunity. Because if anyone loves getting bugged about how good this series is, it's that man. Um, that's gonna wrap this one up, folks. So thank you very much for listening. Of course, we'll be back next week with the finale, and then after that with more shows. I'm gonna make Mitch watch some real dumb shit, um, and some
I know.
fantastic stuff. But that will all be in the future. We will
I
see y'all
know.
then. But until then, of course, be good to each other and have a magical day.